Okay, so this video is really more for people who either have Photoshop, maybe Photoshop Elements. To be honest, I've never used Photoshop Elements, but I would think it's probably got several several similar features. But I would also assume it's not 100% the same as well, obviously. Um, and would just like aren't very familiar with Photoshop or too comfortable with how to use the different features. This isn't going to be some big full-blown Photoshop tutorial. It's just really the easiest way you can kind of customize these banners in Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop, you don't plan on ever buying it because as you can see in my other videos, I show you some free alternative options to edit the banners. Then please feel free to not watch this video or watch for entertainment educational purposes. But for those of you who have Photoshop and could use a few tips, whatever, to customize your banners, then I'll show you show you a few things that you can do. And so I'll just go ahead and begin. So if I either go to File, Open, or Control O, I'm just going to go back to. So, say we're back at the folders. You're trying to open the folder from your desktop. Go to banners 1 through 10. So, say we pick the first one. This 300 by 250 is a very common size you'll see for banners. So I'll go ahead and double click that. Now, what I've done is I've named all the different layers and folders. So hopefully it'll be pretty obvious as to what each folder and file does, or layer does. Okay, so your background, you got the girl. You can always put someone else. Oops, sorry about that. You can move her around a little bit. Just please note that when it comes to the images, especially the photographs with these banners, they can only be used for these banners. So please don't use this girl on a thumbnail shot of on your blog or something. They can only be used for these banners. Buttons, you've got different colored buttons. I just try to help save some time. So if your blog or your product or whatever is more of a bluish color, you can always change the button colors, or create your own. You can take this and click the arrow key, go to the gradient overlay, and assuming you have different layer styles, if you have more of a purpley color to your blog, you can click that. I click this layer style. You can click the reverse if you want to reverse the direction of the gradient. Now keep in mind that it still has like a sort of a border that's pink because it was pink before, so you'd want to double click this stroke and maybe make it more of a purple. So you could just select one of the colors of your your button, and you can see it's created a light colored purple. Okay, so you can do that. I'm just going to go back to the pink color, and as far as, so say you say you like the layout, you're not interested in changing out the text, the font. You're like, okay, I like this big chunky font against this sort of handwritten thin font. Then you just would I always just hit the T key on your keyboard, or go here for text, and then just select anywhere inside your text layer for that particular. So you might want to say something like join the diet. Go ahead and click this to deselect out of that text layer. You don't necessarily need to go click the next font layer if you don't want, but you can. Click T on your keyboard, on a PC keyboard. I assume the same for Mac. And then join the diet. Maybe you type something like all caps revolution. That might be too big. You could always lower the size maybe to 21 pixels or 21 points. Okay, so join the diet revolution. Matter of fact, join the diet might be too big. Let's change that to 28 points, and revolution maybe to 20 points. Okay. Add more information about the great deal you have on offer. So you might want to say something like this join us this summer for a new diet revolution, exclamation point or exclamation mark. So you could, if you don't want that to be hyphenated, you probably will have to hit return, something like that, and then click this move tool to deselect off of that text layer. So already you've, if you want this to say learn more instead of click here, learn more. And if that's too big, just come down, just go back up here and change it to 17 points, hit enter. Now it fits fine on the button. You might not want to have it say first month free. You might want to say something like 100% guaranteed. And that font might be too big, so we'll go to say 12 points. Okay, now it's a little bit, maybe just use your arrow keys to move it over. So, right there, you've got the, you keep the girl, we've changed this from click here to learn more. So at the end of the day, it's really kind of more of a textual change than anything else. Again, you can customize the button colors. You can get rid of the arrow just by ticking the layer on and off. The ribbon color right now is kind of it's a gradient. Obviously it's a yellowy color. So if you want to go with more of a red, let's try say this. Or green's a complementary color, I think it is. That doesn't look very nice. But if you wanted something to kind of stand out a bit more, could be a darker color. So you could just choose a layer style, and to get what you want, to get the look you're after. Maybe you want to go with that kind of lightish blue. Okay, so it's easy to kind of customize these, and then what I do is, I'm sure everybody has their own kind of technique, but once I have the banner the way I like it, what I do is I hit Control A to select the whole thing. Or come down here and select all, and then I guess, well, what I do is Control Shift copy or Control Shift C, and then Control N for new, hit enter, and then I paste that in. So that's my new banner. Okay, this is what I'd upload to my site after I've customized it. Then I hold Control Shift Alt save, and you probably can't see this fully, and I'm going to save this as a JPEG, and you can go with very high quality or maximum quality. Just keep in mind that the higher quality you go, the larger the file size will be. But if you want to have a professional look, you probably want to have at least set it on at least high, if not very high. Okay, and then you would click save, and you might want to create a new folder, or if you go into your, since this is a JPEG we're saving, you might want to call it something like, see if I can just shrink this down a little bit. You might want to call this something like diet banner new, something like that, and then save it. Okay, so now that's a web ready image to save. Now I'm going to do this without doing all the control keys on the keyboard. That's just something I've always done by habit. So again, I'm going to deselect that. So okay, so say you've customized the banner to your liking. You can go to, see if I can move this down a little bit. Move these so you can see. So you can go to select all, and then I do, what do? I do Control Shift and then C, and then the C button. So I'm just trying to see. I don't really see that here. Okay, so or you could just you could probably just do Control C. All right, so Control C to copy. There we go. Okay, so Control C, if you're not familiar with that, most people are. Control C, and then I'll create a new layer, a a new file, I should say. Oops. So I Control N or go up there. Make sure this is 300 by 250, and then Control V. So we'll paste it in. That's why. Okay. Sorry about this. So even though I don't see it in this list here, what I would recommend you do is Control Shift C. Okay, so instead of just Control C for copy, Control Shift C, those three buttons together, because that way it's grabbing the entire image. It's like taking a screenshot of the entire image. And then go to New and paste. You know what? That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is simply, you've got this already highlighted, is simply go to Save for Web. This is that Alt Shift Control S I was saying. And it's going to open up this window here where you can save. So sorry about that. Some habits are just habits of, I've had for years, and whether it's the fastest way, the easiest way, it's different when you're trying to explain it to somebody, trying to teach somebody. And now you're at this place where you can save it as a JPEG and select high, maximum, very high, and just click save, and it's going to save. And just call it something that you'll recognize. Diet Banner New. Okay, so again, we're going to just do that one more time. So you can go to Select All, Control A, and then go here and Save for Web and Devices, Alt Shift Control S, or just select it from that menu. And again, just over here, high, maximum, high, very high, or maximum, and then save it. Okay, and then just name it. So Diet Banner 2, whatever. Okay, so then if we go back to our folder, we're going to see Diet Banner 2, Diet New Banner. That was the first one I saved. You double click it, and you can see that's the one that you've customized. Okay, so I hope this wasn't too confusing, and I hope you can follow along. It's, again, I've listed every single file. So every folder and every file is labeled, and button background, that just pertains to the color. There's an arrow there. Learn more is the current text. You can change that text by going to the T key. You can change this text. You can obviously change the font. Just remember that when you're using fonts, I recommend you stick with commercial use only fonts, because you can't use ignorance or naivety. If someone comes at you and says, hey, you're using my font in your commercial use banner or commercial use whatever, website or whatever, and you say, oh, I didn't know. Well, sometimes you can get sued, or you can, someone will threaten to, that you got to pay them some money for some royalties or whatever. So all the fonts and all the banners that I've created for you are commercial use fonts. Okay, so just a little tip there. But just open up the files, look at how they're labeled. Play with the layer effects, change the text to how you want it, and line everything up. And then when you're ready, you just can do Control A to highlight, and then save for web and devices, and you're good to go. So you could have custom banners in minutes. I hope I didn't waffle on too much. I hope this was helpful, and check out the other videos if you don't have Photoshop on how to customize the banners without needing Photoshop with some free programs. Okay, see you in the next video.